Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live broadcast for Arts and Education. We are here today with several exciting guests, and we are hoping um, to get some donations to help with our project that we're doing with Kakuma Refugee Camp. My name is Donna Guerin. I am the founder and executive director of Global Lighthouse Studios, and I'm here today joined with Jake, who is the founder of Young Changemakers International. Jake, if you'd like to just say one or two things just to tell us about the project a little bit.
Hello, guys. My name is Jake, and I'm the founder of Young Changemakers International. And I am trying to build a dream school for a school in a refugee camp in Kakuma.
So, thanks so much for joining us today. And I'd like to get started by introducing the founder and executive director of INVER Empowering Refugee Organization. His name is Amin Bolis, and he is the INVER Empowering Refugee Organization is an organization that is a refugee-led organization and led by refugee youths. This initiative was formed in the year of 2017, and Amin and his staff work in support of their fellow refugees and host their community. So without further ado, I'm going to kick this over to Amin. So Amin, I'm going to go ahead and add you to the stream. Welcome, Amin.
Thank you so much, Donna. I believe I'm audible enough. I think as Donna has introduced, my name is Amin Bolis. I'm of Empowering Refugee. Uh, I'm, I live here in Kakuma. I've been here in the camp for almost 19 years. Since I flee my home country, Sudan, that was in the year 2004. By residing being in Kenya here, I started my primary school level up to the university level, which I'm currently pursuing the bachelor degree of development studies university, as also working in support of the community at large. Really, thank you all, and a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much, Dan.
Hello. I don't know if anybody can hear me. If Donna, if you can hear me, you were on mute those last few minutes. So unmute
Yes, I
yourself.
can hear you. So I'm giving you the spotlight. So go ahead and.
Great. And sorry, just you were muted for that speech introduction, so we couldn't hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me do that again. So sorry.
Yeah.
For those of you who know me, I'm all about failing forward. So this is the first time I'm using this platform. So let me start again. So David is an independent documentary filmmaker, musician, composer, explorer, and dreamer. For the past 10 years, he's been traveling the globe with a video camera in his backpack, mainly documenting humanitarian, environmental, and social justice issues in a self-taught style, which he calls cinematic journalism. David's released 3 albums of solo piano compositions and has recently begun producing his own style of music, which combines his piano with soft electronics and orchestral elements. David also is the host of a Liminal Space video podcast where he has conversations with inspiring people from around the globe, reimagining the world in which we live. So I'm happy to present David, and I'm going to go ahead and let him get started. Thank you, David.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. I'm just going to play two original songs. The first song's called Coral Waltz.
Thank you so much, David. That was wonderful as usual. For those of you who don't know David, he is an extremely talented musician among photographer and filmmaker. So really excited to have David with us today. So thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Josephine Loray. She is a Canadian poet whose world has gotten bigger with Zoom opportunities available because of COVID. She comes to Global Lighthouse Studios today through Dr. Haram LaRue and his Poetry X Hunger initiative. She's the author of 2 collections of poetry and photography and has been published in anthologies and literary magazines in 10 countries, including the US, England, Ireland, and Japan. So please join us in welcoming Josephine. And thank you, David. I'm just going to add Josephine here for a second.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the chance to share my words. When I heard of your initiative, I thought that it was really an incredible opportunity to use the power of poetry to make a positive difference. I remember seeing images that were broadcast of the lost boys of Sudan, images in stark black and white, the children, their bellies were distended because of starvation. You could see their ribs and they were holding rifles in their hands. And I didn't really follow the story, but knowing that there's a refugee camp in Kenya that welcomed them and that there's opportunities for them to improve their lives and build community through education, I thought it was a great way to help this cause. My poem's on the computer. I wasn't able to print it up, so I'm going to read right from my screen. And the poem's entitled A Child at Rest. A child at rest, a mother's lap, an open book. This is where the tale begins. It overwrites the old story, erasing from our sight images too hard to behold. Millions killed, millions more displaced. The lost little boys and girls of Sudan walking toward liberty. No Peter Pan to fly them, no Wendy to save them. No more will guns be thrust into their hands. No longer will they be made to watch the horror of war. They find refuge in the arms of Kenya, Kalobey, Kakuma. These hands now hold hope instead of guns. Opportunity in their eyes, they learn to read and write. They learn trades and technology. They learn independence, interdependence. There's a story of success, of smiles, of breaking the back of war and subjugation, annihilation. And it starts with an open mind, an open heart, a child at rest, a mother's lap, an open book. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you, Josephine.
My pleasure.
Next up, we have Brian Donald James. Brian is a United Nations and National Poetry Month award-winning poet who regularly speaks at universities and colleges across the country. He's an emerging writer who has been published in Africa, Europe, and throughout the US. His work has appeared in several anthologies and literary magazines of merit. He's a poet fellow for the Martha's Vineyard Creative Writing Institute and has been a poetry judge for Penguin Random House, Maryland Library System. We need diverse books and poetically correct. Obviously, I'm not very poetic right now. So thank you so much, Josephine. I'm just going to go ahead and add Brian to our stream.
Thank you.
Welcome, Brian.
Good morning.
You can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say quickly that anytime that I can stand for children anywhere in the world, it is an honor for me to participate in this. And I would like to thank you for this platform. I'm going to read a poem that I wrote for a child. Well, she's a teenager in India. Her name is Ayancha. And this is a story about the courage that children must face, especially now and as we deal with COVID-19. So I'll read the poem now. Ayancha. What past life glory, what marvelous feat was attained to earn such a child? She travels like a wish through honeycombs of parallel worlds to find us, to touch our hearts. She wears her tiara within and humbleness. It is a beauty of her inner world that we see. A lighted soul waiting in dark waters is she, a lighted temple on a shoreline of prayers. By brilliant cities lit on crystal lakes and rivers, she is the nightly observer, the twilight watcher. She understands and is accustomed to loss more than a child should know in any measure. She is the courageous one in a fearful time, for the festivals and holy days have quieted. Sickness has increased the earthly vessels forsaken for eternity, creating grim lily pads in the river Ganges, alongside swaying candles in water that glow and flicker at dusk, alongside frankincense and jasmine-scented flora afloat in leaf cups. Now is the time for filling the ranks of the ancestors. This is where angels are made, to now know the secrets of men. What past life glory, what marvelous feat was attained to earn such a child? She travels like a wish through honeycombs of parallel worlds to find us, to touch our hearts. We are the wayward pilgrims lost in dreams. We are the refugees seeking to worship, the lonely poets observing time. Strung together in spirit like pearls, strung together in spirit like tears. For it is the children who are unjustly charged to make the world a better place when they have not yet lived. In peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing your poetry with us today. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Manuel Herrera. He's coming to us through a video today. He wasn't able to join us live, but you are going to be riveted by his drawing capabilities. He is an educator, a speaker, and an illustrator. He specializes in sketchnoting, visual thinking, and design thinking. Over the past 19 years, he has keynoted and led workshops at educational conferences like ISTE and TCEA, MASSCUE, FETC, and EDU. Manuel has illustrated books, publications, and graphics for a variety of organizations, publishers, and schools. Currently, he's the coordinator of learning services for the Afton School District and an adjunct professor for the Webster University. Both are located in St. Louis, Missouri. In 2018, Manuel became a Google Innovator, and in 2016, he was named the Midwest Education Technology Conference Spotlight Educator. So please join me in welcoming Manuel. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see my screen. That looks very messy to me, so hang on just one second. Just give me a second. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is while I get the video up on the screen, I'm going to go ahead and invite Sally Toner to go ahead and share. Sally is a writer and a high school English teacher from Reston, Virginia. Her chapter book, Anansi and Friends, was published by Finishing Line Press in 2019. So please join me in welcoming Sally, and I'm going to go ahead and get that video up.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who's already shared some amazing work. I, in sort of keeping with this theme, I thought of a poem that I wrote a while ago in a place, where all eyes were 20 years ago, and then they are again. I think our hearts are there today. But this day, when I wrote this poem, I was getting very frustrated with my own child's privilege and her lack of awareness. So I think you'll understand what I mean when I read it. It's called If I Were Really, Really Rich. If I were really, really rich, I'd buy a condo in every major city in the world for any mood that strikes. New York, Paris, London, Doobie Dubai. I suppose I'd leave space for family. If I were really, really rich, I'd learn to surf, learn to chase storms and shred wave upon wave. I'd curl my dollar bills like conchs to place on some glass table. If I were really, really rich, I'd crack that glass ceiling with a sledgehammer, shatter all those people who made me feel small, smash them to rubble, then to pebbles to crush with combat boots. If I were really, really rich, you'd dig my righteousness, raising money to net the worth of more and more and more. If I were really, really rich, I'd buy a new frame for the cross stitch on Mom's living room when life gives you lemons. Then I'd go to that Greek restaurant with lemons on the table whenever I want. If I were really, really rich, I'd walk the aisle of the grocery store, not needing to put the extra can of peas, the bag of diapers back. I wouldn't be the reason they'd lock the formula behind the tougher glass. If I were really, really rich, I would hum, sing instead of smell, be gold instead of lead, be seen and heard, even by the very, very rich. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sally. Appreciate you being here today and sharing your beautiful words with us. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to share Manuel's video, so just give me a second. Let's hope that this works.
Hi, my name is Manuel Herrera. I'm an artist, an educator, and I'm a public speaker. I've been drawing probably since I could pick up a marker or a crayon or a pen and start to make marks. And this is my 19th year in education. Over the past 10 years, I've enjoyed the opportunities that I've had to go across the country and to speak with educators, speak with students, to speak with organizations and businesses about how I combine art and education to help kids think and brainstorm and imagine ideas and communicate those. So I want to share with you today a little bit of my artwork that I've done over the past few years. I've illustrated children's books, I've done family portraits, portraits of homes, I've done graphics for different events, and I've even designed some stickers. So I hope you enjoy those. And then I'm going to share a quick tip on drawing that I still use today. I learned this back probably in elementary, if not middle school. And it's pretty easy to do, and you're going to create some really cool stuff with it. So I hope you enjoy. Great to meet you guys. Thanks. Guys, this is the tutorial part. I want to show you something that I used probably when I was learned when I was in middle school and continually still use it today. I use an iPad when I draw, and I use the app called Procreate. And so the way this kind of tip works is you're gonna just need your finger and something to write with and a piece of paper. But you're gonna start off by putting your finger on the page. And once you've done that, you're going to put a dot above your finger and a dot below your finger. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a dot, you're going to kind of try to find the in-between point of these two dots. That's coming up very good, there you go. Which is about right here. And now I'm going to draw another dot to the left of that, and then a dot directly out to the right of that. And now I'm going to connect those 4 dots. And if you want, if you have a pencil, you can erase that in the middle. So now you kind of have this kind of diamond shape. Then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 lines going down, and you're only going to draw it from this point. So I'm just going to kind of draw it down. I'm going to draw another line on the outside, the same exact length as that one. And then I'm going to draw one from the middle. And I'm going to draw it the same length. It's just going to look like it's longer because this dot is lower than the other 2. And the last step is to connect the bottoms. And once you've done that, you've drawn a rectangular prism or a cube. And in this case, this looks more like a cube. So let's try that again. Okay, you're gonna take your finger, you're gonna place your finger on the paper or on the page. You're gonna put a dot above and a dot below. Oh, my dot erased, there you go. And you're gonna try to find the middle point between those 2 dots. So I'm gonna kind of guess it's about right here, and I kind of just make a mark. I'm gonna put a dot out to the left of that and out to the right of that. And you can play with how far you put them out. I'm gonna connect my dots to make my kind of diamond shape. And then you're gonna draw your lines going down. So I'm gonna have one here. I'm gonna do this one a little bit longer. Do this one here. Do this one here. So again, these are all roughly the same length. And then you're gonna connect the bottoms. And that, my friends, is how you draw a rectangular prism. But before I leave you, we can't just leave this as a big rectangular prism with just nothing in it, right? I like to play around with this. I'll draw rectangular prisms, and then I'll kind of just use my imagination and think of, what could this be? What do I know is this shape? So something I use this often for is to draw buildings. So I'll do that by adding windows. I'm going to show you, you want all the lines that are going across to kind of go in the same direction as that kind of first part you drew. So I'm going to do this. And it's okay to draw on top of your drawing because we're just practicing. And I'll show you what I mean, because you can color this in. So these are going to be my windows. And then I'm going to make a large door. That's going to be the top of my door. So one thing I like about using Procreate is I can color things in. So let's make our building red. Make it a red brick building. I'll go kind of fast. I don't want to take too much time. So now I can color this in. You can do this with colored pencils. You can do this with markers. If you're using this app, you can definitely change your brush and use this app. So you're gonna have to kind of see where you drew some of those things so you know where to color. And that, my friends, is your brick building. I've got windows. Let's put some windows that are blue. Pretty simple. So that's how you draw a rectangular prism. And now that's how you draw a building. So think of other things that you could draw with this. You could draw a building, you can make it into a cereal box, you can make it into a stick of butter. If I turn it sideways, I can maybe turn that into like a stick of butter. It's kind of up to you. That's what's fun about doing this. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and we'll talk to you soon.
So I thought that was wonderful. Thank you, Manuel, for being here virtually today, like our other guests today. So next up, we have Dr. Jane Shore, and she is the head of research and innovation at a new progressive place based in Philadelphia called Revolution School. In this role, she creates visuals to make big research-based ideas usable and actionable. So just give me a moment while I stop my share. And I will go ahead and add Dr. Shore. And
hi, thank you so much, Donna. This has been so nourishing this morning, and I feel very honored to be among these artists and poets and musicians. And I am thinking about the ways in which we all are engaging in the world through various modalities. The modality that I use is visuals. And can you see this screen that I'm sharing? I actually can't tell if anyone can see it. Hold on. Uh-oh. Let's see. No, okay. Let me see. We are all learning so much here. So let me see if I can, oh, Donna, I might need a tutorial.
yes,
Oh, wait,
that's fine.
Here comes my son. Here comes my son
Yes.
to help me.
Yes, you should be able to just click on the bottom where it says share, and then you should be able to share your screen.
No, no, the other one, sweetie.
That's okay. We're all learning, right? This is a new platform for us.
Yes,
so
and
that's
my son is able to. Okay, so now can you see my screen? Whoop. Let's see. Yes, yes. Okay, so thank you to my son Avery, and I need now. Wait, Avery, could you come back? Oh wait, here we go. So, uh-oh, it went off. Could you come back for a second, sweetie? So what I want to present and share with you are some ways in which, in this COVID influenced time, we've been engaging with our students at our school in Philadelphia and with the world and with others who are in this conversation around. Here's my son helping me get on. How do I get onto that? This. Yes, but I'm not. It doesn't seem to be. I'm sorry, Donna. Yes, I can share the link with you. Okay, I'm gonna. What?
Perhaps if you would like, I can take you off the screen and have Melissa step in for a minute.
Yes.
That would be okay. I will take you off, and no worries. Be right back, right? So hang on. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce Melissa. So Melissa Campisi is an educator, author, and advocate who believes in the power of creativity and integrating elements of the arts in education to promote self-expression and authentic voice across content areas. Very excited to have Melissa with us today. So Melissa, if you'd like to take it away.
Yes. Hi, Donna. Hello, everybody. I want to thank Donna for putting this all together and Amin for sharing his students with us and connecting with us. And I am just so inspired by everyone's art and how we are basically just touching the world and lifting each other up and giving each other hope. So thank you, and I appreciate you spending your morning with us and taking the time to listen to what we want to share and how we share and communicate our messages in the world. So the piano here has been my friend since I was about 6 or 7 years old. I had one growing up, and I always gravitated to her, and I always felt that the piano was my musical journal. And then around 7 or 8, I started taking instructional lessons for a couple of years. And now I just kind of write my own music. And basically the piano I find to be an extension of my emotions. So however I feel, the piano I go to, and the piano kind of reflects my emotions of how I feel that day. So I'm going to play for you a song that I kind of put together last week. It's a very short song, no words, doesn't even have a title yet, but I hope you all enjoy. So that's my song. And I also was very inspired by some of the poets that I heard this morning. And part of what I do is I like to visit schools from around the world and collect their cultural stories. I love hearing about how people's way of lives are, how their everyday lifestyles are. So culture is very interesting to me. And so I basically wrote a song called Ancestral Dream, because I feel that our family roots are very important to us, and really it's just an extension of who we are. So the poem is called Ancestral Dream. I had a breakthrough today. Saw the painted names on my wall, while the rolling thunder vibrates the window pane. I thought I knew who I was, that my spirit was never lost, but more familiar names awaken within me, like deep roots to a tree. As autumn skies lay heavy, their dense soil grounds me continually. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. That was beautiful. I always love listening to you play.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here and being so supportive of this initiative. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for all you do.
Okay, next up, we're going to try one more time to share Dr. Jane Shore. I'm going to try to share my screen first to see if I'm successful before we go ahead and do this. Sorry. Let's see. Let me try this. Okay, I think I can do this. So, okay, you should all be able to see my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and add Dr. Shore here. I'm not sure if I think I need to stay on, if that's okay.
That's great.
Okay, and I will go ahead and run through the slideshow. If you just say next slide, I'll go ahead and play screen person.
This is how we're connecting as humans all over. So I appreciate that so much, Donna, and being here and this gorgeous morning with poetry and music and art is so nourishing for so many, and is a reminder of our connection when we are disconnected. I am an educator. I'm also a researcher, but through the pandemic, a place that I have found myself connecting is through visual storytelling and through art as a way to share complex ideas and emotion, similar to what Melissa was saying around allowing us to sort of feel through art. Visual storytelling has been my outlet, and it is both storytelling and story listening. So it has been a way to share big ideas and to listen to the ideas of others. And so, Donna, thank you so much for being the host and the DJ today. But I wanted to start by saying that as a person who I'm an educator and a researcher, and so often we have students, and in our classrooms we focus on sort of text, and we forget that we sometimes can forget that there are humans behind all of these things, these words and these creations. And so everything I do is hand drawn. These are my children who are in my background right now, helping me with technology, even though there are technology fails. But the reminder that there are individuals behind all these creations, and the individuals are what connect us. That's really the point of this storytelling and story listening through visuals that I've been able to create. And the next slide kind of gets into some of the work. One of the things that I'm really nourished and fueled by is that visuals create a shared language. When we're talking across country and across culture, when we're looking to define the messages, we have such global messages that are happening all over and all the time. And visuals and visual symbols can help us, just as music can, with a brave space for sharing a different kind of language. And so when we're bringing people together, one of the things that really motivates me is this idea that visuals create a shared language. And I hope that sometimes they can sit on their own and tell the stories that in ways that, just words or just other modalities can be fueled by, that we can come together. And so the next one, and I'm really rooted, as we had been saying earlier, in the idea of telling the story of young people and recognizing the ways in which we can tell, we can be there, we can create space together, so that we can amplify and co-create and empower one another. It is not about us empowering our students, it is empowering each other so that we can rejoice in the reflection and the learning that is happening all the time around us. And so this is part of the message of change and the places that we want to be there to provide those vehicles and be next to our students as we learn with them. And the next one, another place in this is that visuals for me are not just storytelling, they're story listening. I think we had several people talk about the art that they create as an extension of how they're feeling and thinking. And when I'm listening, I frequently love creating visuals to process. I love to create visuals of people. When we welcome people into our space, I frequently love to create portraits of them, and you get to know somebody in a way that's very different when you're studying them and you're creating an image of them. So this is sort of acknowledging our humanity. And the next one. I also believe that visuals allow us to tell the story of our coming together in a way that roots us, that brings our different parts. It's not a combination, it's an augmentation, enrichment, and it allows us to grow in different ways. So the intention for story listening and storytelling through visuals is to bring things together, to share language, and to tell stories. And the next one, one of the things that we do at Revolution School in our classroom is just use visuals to inspire some space. So when we're provoked, sending out provocations, provoking questions. Students can have time to think and feel and be part of conversation through just a visual representation, sort of like playing music in the background, and having that evoke the beautiful emotions. And the next one. I also have found a space here to tell stories through visuals that can be a little bit different from the ways in which we look at, data. And so one of the things that tells part of our story in our school is to recognize that when we're active in the learning, and that can be through your voice, and it can be through your music, and it can be through your writing and your drawing, and allow students to have an active place in the modality of both their story listening and learning and their own storytelling and sharing. So to bring these modalities into active practice. And the next one, this was a way to represent the idea that we're learning to and growing and just letting our minds open up as a way to access more information and connect with one another. And so these visuals are placed in areas of our learning and teaching. They are also ways of accessing. One of the things that happened during COVID was this idea of checking in and allowing visuals and words and all the different modalities to tap into thinking about how students are feeling, how we're feeling, how are we taking care of ourselves and each other. And so visuals were another way to access that across spaces and share across time when we're in these hybrid places. And then I think I stuck a lot in here. This was just a representation of time and the repetition and the places that we're in, and sort of an extension of how time was feeling at the time. And this is the final image, well, the second to last. And one of the things that we have been doing, and I've been a part of doing, is thinking about how visuals can tell stories and help people take action. And this was a way of thinking about how we're entering into being an activist through expression, through participation, activism, and leadership, different representations of all of these. And I think this was coming to the last one, which I wanted to end with one of my favorite poets and lyricists, Adrienne Marie Brown. I think that a lot of the things that are happening in the world remind us that questions lead us to more interesting, honest places than answers. And I think we're always learning and coming together. I appreciate these spaces to come together and to think together about the ways in which we can ask questions and connect. So thank you for giving me this space and for sharing your art and your poetry and your music. And thank you. Appreciate this.
Wow, those were some powerful art images. They are really spectacular. Thank you so much for sharing today. I appreciate you. And next up, if I'm able to, I'm going to try to share. We have two poets from the refugee camp where we are supporting today, and they videotaped themselves saying a poem. So I'm going to try to share that. So just give me just a minute, and I'm going to try to pull those up.
My name is Zaytun Abdulrahim. I'm come to recite to you a poem entitled Education is the Key to Success. Entitled Education is the Key to Success. Yes, education is the key to success. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here are yours. Education, education, education. Education is the key to success. Father, mother, I need to be educated. From the university throughout the human life, day after day. New discovering it is education. Betterment of our nation. backbone of education. Education, yes, education. To be educated, you know you are right. Improvement of our living standard, development of our country, understand among ourselves. Peace preach all over. It is education. Father, mother, guide us and respond to us to build Sudan, our future nation. Thank you.
I thought that was wonderful. And then we just have one more to share.
And my name is Ikram Butros. We are ready to present to you a poem entitled Education is the Best Thing in Life. Entitled Education is the Best Thing in Life. Yes, education is the best thing in life. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Along the way from my home country to refugee camp, looking for education. How do you think about education? Education is the best thing in life. Brothers and sisters, let us give first priority to education because it is the first life stepping stone. How do you think about education? Education is the best thing in life. Brothers and sisters, let academic certificate be our first husband and wife because is there are partners with grantees have no life force. How do you think about education? Education is the best thing in life. Thank you.
So I thought that was pretty powerful to show you how important education is to these students and really the meaning of what we're doing here today, which is to try to spread the word and try to bring some educational resources to our friends at Inver Empowering Refugee Camp. So I'd like to really thank everyone here today for their amazing art that they shared, whether it was poetry or music or their artistic artwork. I am in awe of all of you and so appreciate all of you being here. I can't thank you enough. And I hope that some of you who are able to join us today to listen to some of the beautiful poems and music and also see all the great visuals that Dr. Shore shared with us today, that you're able to possibly make a small donation to our Brick by Brick fundraiser that is being powered by our student arm, which is Young Changemakers International. So I'd like to close out with letting us listen to some more music from Mr. David Fidel. And I'd like to thank you all so much for being here today. And thank you so much.
Hi, thanks so much again, Donna, and thank you to everyone. That was amazing. What a selection, like a combined, what a great selection of words and sounds and poems and art. And yeah, thank you for organizing everything. I'm going to play a song which for me also is a song I've only composed very recently, and it also doesn't have a title yet either. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, David. That was beautiful. That was a perfect way for us to end today. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We really appreciate you, and we will see you again real soon. Thank you.